The rain came down in relentless sheets that night, the kind that blurred headlights into glowing smears and turned every street into a mirror reflecting the storm. Inside a small highway cafe, the kind truckers swear by and locals forget exists, the air smelled of burnt coffee, warm bread, and long-held secrets. The clock above the register blinked 11:58 p.m., its tired red digits glowing like they wanted to give up. At the back booth sat four men whose laughter scratched against the quiet like sandpaper. Their voices carried, loud and careless, fueled by cheap beer and the thrill of making others uncomfortable. They weren't shy about it. They never were. Behind the counter was Anna, a 24-year-old waitress whose world had become a cycle of double shifts, overdue bills, and sleepless nights. Life had taught her how to endure storms, just not the kind sitting in that booth. She moved with practiced grace, though her hands trembled slightly when she refilled their drinks. Their eyes lingered too long, their comments pressed too close, their intentions were unmistakable. But Anna needed this job. Her mother's medical bills were piling up at home, waiting like wolves at the door. So she smiled, as she always did, even when her stomach twisted in knots. Then it happened. The cafe door swung open with a sharp chime, letting in a blast of cold wind and the scent of wet asphalt. Every head turned as three riders stepped inside, rain dripping from their jackets, boots heavy on the tile. They didn't speak. They didn't have to. Their presence shifted the room instantly, like the temperature had dropped 10 degrees. The rowdy men quieted just long enough to feel intimidated, then laughed even louder as if to reclaim the space. But it didn't work. Not tonight. The tallest rider, broad-shouldered with calm, steady eyes, sat at the counter. He didn't look at the men. He looked at Anna. Really looked. Not with cruelty, but with the kind of understanding that only comes from recognizing someone else's exhaustion, someone else's fight. She offered a polite smile. He nodded once in return, and that simple gesture eased something she'd been holding inside all night. The men in the booth weren't done. Their comments grew sharper, their tone bolder, pushing past the line they'd already crossed. Anna's heart pounded as she stepped away, wishing she could disappear into the kitchen. But the riders heard everything. The leader stood slowly, not aggressive, but deliberate, like a man who didn't waste movements. His boots echoed across the floor as he approached the counter, placing a reassuring hand on the surface. "You okay there?" he asked her quietly. It was the first kindness she'd heard all night, and it changed everything. What happened next would be the turning point of a night Anna would never forget, a reminder that sometimes protection comes from the most unexpected places, not from heroes in capes, but from strangers who walk in dripping rainwater and carrying a quiet strength that can shift the entire room.